Salamat sa pag-ibig mo. Pag-ibig mo lagi kang nasa puso't isip ko. Isip ko at inaamin ko na namimiss kita. Na namimiss kita.
Hi kaibigans! Welcome back to Asian American Chika. As you can see, it's a different background. I finally bought a ring light and a stand together with it, so now I can actually do it like on my bed with this as the background. So you can see I am a large anime fan. but that is not what we're gonna talk about today. Today is actually one of the days that I'm actually preparing for my final exams, and let me tell you, it's been like super duper stressful. And like, I've been attending class and I've been doing my duties as a college student, but the preparation times before the exams are just like so intensely stressful. Like, I don't even know why. It's probably just like the anxiety, like feeling like everything is riding on this one final exam. And for some subjects, yeah, it does ride on this exam if you're failing your other midterms or assignments. But I think finals is just like a little percentage, but I still get like anxiety from it. I just don't understand why, honestly. But now that I've dived into that, for today's podcast, we're gonna talk about study methods. So this is what works for me, and hopefully this works for you, especially for last minute studying. I know for sure that there are a lot of people that studies overnight, even when they know it's very unhealthy for them. Like, you can see my eyes. This is literally with like freaking bags. Like, oh my freaking gosh. When I was back in high school in the Philippines, it was really stressful because our exams are like literally day after day after day. I don't know if the American system was like that in their high school days, but for us, it was like literally day after day after day. Like, that's more of their style per se. Like, they put like 4 exams per day, and it's like just so crazy. So sometimes you do have to do not last minute studying, but you have to like do a whole studying session really quickly. Like, you have to review a day before the next 4 exams on the next day, if you get what I mean, you know. So it's like, it's so stressful, and these are like the techniques that I've personally picked up on, and hopefully these are helpful for you. I'm pretty sure this is a really popular technique. It's called the Pomodoro technique. And it's basically just like studying for 25 minutes, having a 5-minute break in between, and then another 25 minutes of just like focusing on one specific task. But this is just the time management aspect of the studying. The second one, this is the SQ3R method. So basically, survey, questioning, read, recite, and then review. Last minute studying, so if you're like a fast reader, then definitely go through this, especially if you have like that extra minute. So let me just get through this technique really quick. Wait, let me just sit down properly because my ankles hurt. I was like sitting down in a weird way. I don't know. First, survey or like skimming through context. So basically, note down what sections are your focus. This is where you outline things. Next is the questions. What I usually focus on are definitions and concepts, because definitions, they're definitely going to pop up in the exam. And by knowing the definitions, you'll definitely get the concept. The third aspect is reading. Basically, like answering the questions that you just previously made. Oh yeah, tips for you. You should ask your professors if they have like guide questions. So for my biology class, my professor gives us like, doesn't tell us the questions that are going to be in the exam, but she does give us things that we should focus on. Next thing, recite. This is basically not saying things in a memorized way. This is when you know if you're actually understanding what you're reading. So you're gonna say it in your own words. Review. So in the review section, I will talk about this more, like what techniques we should use, but for reviewing is basically just quizzing yourself. I will talk about how to quiz yourself like on the 4th section of this podcast. All right, next. After the method, we discussed like how we're gonna study for the night. Now we're gonna talk about the note-taking method. So how do you actually take notes? A lot of people just think it's just like highlighting and color coding it. Like, that's part of the technique to know like what is important, what is not important. Like, sometimes professors also give you like, this will be on the exam, so you go and highlight that. So like, that's part of note taking, but that's not the entirety of it. That's what people are forgetting. 2 methods that definitely is effective for me, because I'm a very visual learner, because I love mind mapping and I love chart methods. So for mind mapping, it's basically just like putting the idea in the center or on the top, whatever you prefer, and then you branch it out. So basically you can see more of the relationships of the concepts. It's like it becomes more of like, oh, this is connected to this. Oh, this makes sense. Like, it's becoming common sense the more you connect it. You get what I mean? And then you could also draw on it, create symbols that will, like, help you remember things. Like, for example, you see your pencil and then you remember, like, oh, this is this topic. It's just like that. For charting, it helps you more organized, especially, like, if you have like elements, characteristics, more on those kind of information. For charting methods, those are the ones that you actually have a list of characteristics, like you'll have like a lot of bullet points. Moving on, so the last section that I was talking about is now finally here, the quizzing yourself, is basically retrieval practice. So retrieval practice could be like done in many ways. I'm sure plenty of you know Quizlet, but we know that Quizlet is becoming like, you have to pay for it. Like, I stopped using it because there was like some sort of payment that you have to go through. I'm not sure if they still continue that, honestly. So for my biology class, we have a lot of calculations, and if you're studying math, definitely practice problems are very helpful. You can do practice problems given to you in your discussions, in your homeworks. But if you have extra time, it'd be really, really good if you could find problems from outside that you could actually like practice on and then check the cheat sheet afterwards. Another point that I wanted to make is that you can also make a fake test. So I do fake tests a lot. I formulate all of the questions, I put it away for a minute, review it, and then act like I'm actually having an exam. I have a timer. Usually professors give me like 50 minutes, depending on your subjects, of course, but usually my professors give me like 50 minutes to do an exam. So in order for me to like practice like the anxiety kind of experience of it and the fast-pacedness of it, I usually like create like a fake atmosphere of like tension and all of that. Having the experience of having a fake test just calms your anxiety. And the times that I do that and then take the exams afterwards, I'm just like going through it in the breeze and I finish immediately. Obviously, it's not a contest as to who finishes first, but it helps you think faster. Basically, like the information is really just like at the top of your head instead of you trying to dig it at the back of your head, if you get what I mean. Like sometimes we always take like 5 minutes on one question, and obviously the exam is just like 50 minutes. Like if you have 50 items and you're taking 5 minutes per question, it's just like not time efficient. But yeah, so those are the 4 things that you guys should try on, especially if you're last minute studying. This is very, very effective, personally for me, and I hope for you guys. Good luck on your exams, and sana makapasa kayo. Bye!
Baby, ngayon lang ako nakakita ng katulad mo. You got me crazy. Kahit sinong lalaki mababaliw sa'yo. Panahon hanggang ka pa, laging pumupunta. Di na lang isang